Are you tired of waking up 2, 3, even 4 times a night just to rush to the bathroom? What if 6 simple fruits could help you finally sleep through the night, while also balancing your blood sugar, calming your bladder, and protecting your kidneys? In this video, we're uncovering the top 6 fruits that go way beyond taste. One boosts your body's natural melatonin, so you wake up rested instead of exhausted. Another relaxes your bladder muscles with minerals you're probably missing. And one, it quietly guards your urinary tract from the inside out, without ever spiking your glucose. These aren't random remedies. They're backed by science, trusted by nutritionists, and easy to add to your routine. And stay with me, because at the end, I'll share bonus helpful tips you've likely never heard. Powerful strategies that could finally stop nighttime bathroom trips for good. First on list, cherries. Sweet, tart, and packed with powerful plant compounds, cherries are more than just a summer treat. They're a natural ally for both nighttime bladder control and blood sugar balance. One of cherry's standout benefits for Nocturia is their naturally high melatonin content, a hormone that not only supports deeper sleep, but also reduces nighttime wake-ups triggered by the urge to urinate. Research shows that melatonin supplementation may reduce nighttime bathroom trips by up to 40%, and cherries, especially tart varieties, are one of the very few fruits that naturally contain this sleep-regulating compound. This makes cherries uniquely suited for diabetics dealing with nocturia caused by poor sleep-wake cycles, overactive bladder, or inflammation. Cherries also offer protection for the urinary tract. Their deep red color comes from anthocyanins, which are powerful antioxidants that reduce inflammation in the bladder wall and lower oxidative stress. For people with diabetes, this is critical, since elevated blood sugar levels can damage blood vessels around the bladder and kidneys, contributing to frequent urination. But beyond blood vessels, high blood sugar can also affect nerve signaling to the bladder, making it harder to control urgency at night. Cherry's anti-inflammatory compounds may help preserve these delicate nerve pathways, ensuring that your bladder responds calmly instead of overreacting during sleep. Cherries contain around 3 grams of fiber per cup, which helps slow sugar absorption while also supplying potassium, about 260 milligrams per cup, 5% of the daily value, a mineral that helps balance sodium and reduce bladder spasms, one of the lesser-known causes of nocturia. Their glycemic index, EGI, is around 22, and glycemic load, GL, is under 7 per cup, making them extremely gentle on blood sugar levels. One research study even found that tart cherry juice improved insulin sensitivity, leading to up to 19% better glucose control over time. A practical way to enjoy cherries for both bladder and blood sugar support is to eat 1/2 cup of fresh tart cherries about 1 hour before bed. This timing aligns with your body's natural melatonin rhythm, while the fiber helps avoid overnight sugar spikes. To enhance absorption and support hydration without burdening the bladder, pair your cherries with just a few sips of water, not a full glass. This small change helps hydrate tissues gently while avoiding bladder overstimulation that can wake you up. Did you know? Most over-the-counter melatonin supplements are synthetic, but tart cherries offer the same benefit naturally, with added anti-inflammatory perks. Now, if you've been relying on just water restriction or bladder training at night, cherries may offer a sweet new approach. But what about fruits that calm the bladder and balance blood sugar without affecting melatonin levels? Let's move on to one of the most underrated fiber-rich fruits for nocturia, pears. Second on list, pears. Soft, hydrating, and rich in gut-soothing fiber, pears are one of the most overlooked fruits when it comes to bladder and blood sugar relief. But for diabetics struggling with nocturia, especially frequent bathroom trips disrupting sleep, pears may quietly offer one of the gentlest forms of nighttime support. The secret lies in their unique blend of soluble fiber, natural anti-inflammatory compounds, and bladder-calming antioxidants, which help relax the urinary tract and regulate nighttime urine production. Unlike citrus fruits or acidic berries, pears are non-acidic, making them far less irritating to the bladder lining, especially in cases of overactive bladder or low-level inflammation common in diabetics. A medium-sized pear contains about 6 grams of fiber, which is nearly 21% of the daily value, and most of this comes from pectin, a special kind of soluble fiber. Pectin forms a gel in the digestive tract, slowing down the absorption of glucose and preventing rapid sugar spikes, one of the main triggers behind polyuria, or excessive urination. At the same time, this fiber also absorbs some of the excess fluid in your digestive system, which can reduce the total volume of urine your body produces overnight. For diabetics who frequently wake up due to bladder pressure, this dual action is incredibly important. Here is fun fact. Pears contain a natural compound called arbutin, which has mild diuretic properties during the day, but seems to support balanced urine flow at night by working with the body's circadian rhythm. Pears also supply around 190 milligrams of potassium per fruit, or 4% of the daily value, which helps regulate fluid balance in the body and calm involuntary bladder contractions. That means fewer sudden urges and less strain on your sleep cycle. On the glycemic scale, pears are a low GI fruit with a glycemic index of 30 to 38 and a glycemic load under 7, making them safe for most diabetics. In fact, one research study found that regular pear consumption helped reduce urinary urgency and frequency in older adults by up to 28%, especially when combined with fluid timing and a low-sodium diet. To use pears effectively for nocturia and diabetes, the best approach is this. Eat half a medium pear about 2 hours before bed, not too close to sleep, so your body has time to digest and balance hydration. Choose ripe, soft pears rather than underripe ones, as they're easier to digest and more soothing for the bladder. And be sure to eat the skin, where much of the fiber and flavonoids reside. Avoid canned pears or those soaked in syrup, as added sugars can spike your blood glucose and worsen symptoms. Pears offer a calming, non-irritating way to reduce both blood sugar highs and nighttime bathroom interruptions. But what if a fruit could go even further, balancing electrolytes, calming your bladder nerves, and supporting your kidneys all at once? Let's move on to one of the most medicinal tasting but powerful fruits for nocturia, guava. Third on list, guava. This tropical fruit may not look like much on the outside, but inside, guava is packed with medicinal nutrients that target two of the biggest issues diabetics face at night: frequent urination and unstable blood sugar. What makes guava stand out is its unique ability to calm the bladder, support kidney function, and stabilize blood glucose levels, all while delivering powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory benefits in just a few sweet bites. For people with diabetes who find themselves waking up 2, 3, or even 4 times a night to urinate, guava may offer gentle but lasting relief, especially when eaten at the right time and in the right form. A single guava contains about 3 grams of dietary fiber, supplying nearly 11% of the daily value. And this fiber includes a high concentration of soluble pectin, which slows down glucose absorption in the gut. That helps prevent sugar spikes after meals, the very spikes that lead to excess glucose in the bloodstream and eventually glucose spilling into urine, one of the most common causes of nocturia in poorly managed diabetes. But guava's benefits go further. It contains a compound called quercetin, a flavonoid shown in research to reduce bladder overactivity and soothe inflammation in the urinary tract lining. This makes guava especially helpful for those who experience nighttime urges even when their bladder isn't full. In terms of mineral content, guava offers about 417 milligrams of potassium per fruit, nearly 9% of the daily value, and around 22 milligrams of magnesium, which helps relax smooth muscles, including those in the bladder wall. This mineral duo supports better fluid balance and reduces nighttime bladder spasms. Guava is also incredibly rich in vitamin C, with over 200% of the daily value per fruit, helping lower inflammation in the kidneys and supporting the immune system, which is often weakened in diabetics. The glycemic index of guava is just 31, and its glycemic load is under 4 per fruit, making it one of the lowest impact fruits for blood sugar control. The best way to use guava for nocturia is to eat half of a fresh, ripe guava with the peel about 90 minutes before bed. The skin contains most of the fiber and antioxidants, and its gentle sweetness satisfies late-night cravings without raising glucose. For even better results, pair it with a sprinkle of cinnamon or a few drops of lime juice to enhance digestion and bladder relaxation. Avoid guava juice or dried guava, as they concentrate sugars and remove the fiber that diabetics need most. Here is a myth. Many people believe guava is too sweet for diabetics, but that's not true. Its sweetness comes from natural sugars balanced by fiber and polyphenols that actually blunt glucose absorption and support insulin function. Guava's kidney calming, bladder relaxing, and sugar stabilizing benefits make it one of the most therapeutic fruits for diabetics who experience nocturia. But now let's switch gears, because coming up next is a fruit most people already eat, but they're missing its hidden secret for nighttime urination relief: the banana. Fourth on list, bananas. Creamy, convenient, and naturally comforting. Bananas have long been a go-to snack, but for diabetics dealing with frequent nighttime urination, they hold surprising therapeutic potential. What makes bananas stand out is their high potassium and magnesium content, two minerals that play a critical role in calming bladder spasms, supporting kidney filtration, and balancing fluid retention. For people who wake up repeatedly during the night to urinate, especially with diabetes in the picture, these minerals help restore nerve-muscle coordination around the bladder and relax the smooth muscles that control urgency. A medium banana provides about 422 milligrams of potassium, which is 9% of the daily value, and about 32 milligrams of magnesium, or 8% of the daily value. This mineral duo helps reduce nocturnal polyuria, the production of excess urine at night, by encouraging better sodium excretion during the day and calming the bladder's detrusor muscle at night. Bananas also contain vitamin B6, which supports neurotransmitter function and improves the signaling between the brain and bladder, helping prevent misfires that trigger false urgency. For diabetics who suffer from autonomic nerve damage, a common complication of long-term high blood sugar, this can mean fewer nighttime bathroom disruptions. From a glycemic standpoint, bananas often get a bad reputation, but when eaten in moderation and at the right ripeness, they are absolutely safe. A medium-ripe banana has a glycemic index of 51 and a glycemic load of about 11, putting it on the moderate side of the spectrum. However, unripe or just ripe bananas have a lower glycemic impact and more resistant starch, which feeds gut bacteria and slows sugar absorption, making them a smarter choice for people with diabetes and nocturia. One study found that resistant starch from bananas helped improve insulin sensitivity by up to 33% over 4 weeks. The best way to use bananas for bladder and blood sugar support is to eat 1/3 to 1/2 of a slightly green banana in the early evening, about 2 to 3 hours before bed. This gives your body time to digest and absorb the nutrients without adding extra fluid load right before sleep. If you take magnesium or potassium supplements, combining them with banana may enhance their effects through food synergy. Just avoid overripe bananas, which have more free sugars and a higher glycemic load. Here is interesting fun fact. Bananas contain dopamine and tryptophan, two compounds that promote relaxation, improve mood, and may help with sleep quality, an indirect but meaningful way to reduce nighttime awakenings caused by overactive bladder. Bananas aren't just a quick energy fix. They're a mineral-rich bladder, relaxant, and blood sugar buffer. But now let's talk about a fruit that works in a completely different way, protecting the urinary tract lining from infection and inflammation. And it's one most people only think about during urinary tract infections. Let's explore the powerful effects of cranberries next. Fifth on list, cranberries, tiny, tart, and often misunderstood. Cranberries are one of the most powerful fruits for bladder protection, especially when nocturia is linked to inflammation, irritation, or recurring urinary tract infections, UTIs. For diabetics, this is especially important. High blood sugar creates an ideal environment for bacterial overgrowth in the urinary tract, which can irritate the bladder lining and increase the urge to urinate at night, even if the bladder isn't full. What sets cranberries apart is their rare concentration of proanthocyanidins, PACs, bioactive plant compounds that prevent bacteria like E. coli from sticking to the walls of the bladder and urethra, reducing both infection risk and nighttime urgency. 1 cup of fresh cranberries provides about 4.6 grams of fiber, or 16% of the daily value, along with 14 milligrams of vitamin C, 15% of the daily value, and 80 milligrams of potassium, 2% of the daily value. The fiber helps regulate blood sugar and improves gut health, while vitamin C lowers inflammation in the kidneys and urinary tract. These effects are especially critical for diabetics with neuropathy or kidney complications that contribute to excess nighttime urination. But the real standout is the PAC content. Research shows that consuming a concentrated dose of cranberry packs can reduce UTI-related bladder symptoms, including nighttime urgency, by up to 42% over 8 weeks. From a glycemic perspective, whole cranberries are very low in sugar. They have a glycemic index of 45 and a glycemic load of just 3 per 1/2 cup, making them ideal for blood sugar control when eaten fresh or dried without added sugar. The mistake most people make is turning to cranberry juice or sweetened dried cranberries, which are often loaded with added sugars and can spike glucose levels quickly. Always check labels. Aim for unsweetened or lightly sweetened versions with no more than 5 grams of sugar per serving. To use cranberries effectively for nocturia and diabetic support, try this. Add a quarter cup of fresh or unsweetened dried cranberries to a late afternoon snack or salad, or enjoy them as a warm herbal tea steeped in cinnamon and clove. This combination soothes the bladder, reduces inflammation, and supports digestion while giving your urinary tract a natural defense boost. Drinking cranberry tea 2 to 3 hours before bedtime may help reduce nighttime bladder irritation without flooding the system with liquid too close to sleep. Here is a myth. Cranberry juice is the best way to prevent bladder problems. In reality, most commercial cranberry juices are filled with sugar and low in packs, making them more harmful than helpful for both diabetics and nocturia sufferers. Cranberries act like nature's shield for the bladder, guarding against infection, soothing inflammation, and quietly supporting blood sugar balance. But what if a fruit could deliver all of these benefits and also help reduce fluid retention and bladder pressure through its water-rich, low-sugar content? Let's wrap up with a refreshing and gentle hydrator. Strawberries. Sixth on list, strawberries. Bright, juicy, and naturally hydrating. Strawberries might just be the perfect closing fruit for diabetics battling frequent nighttime urination. With their high water content, low glycemic impact, and rich antioxidant profile, strawberries support both bladder health and blood sugar balance, without overloading the body with excess fluid or sugar. For diabetics who struggle with bladder irritation, low-grade inflammation, or kidney stress at night, strawberries offer gentle hydration paired with anti-inflammatory protection, making them a smart choice in the early evening hours. Strawberries are about 91% water, yet they release that hydration slowly due to their fiber and polyphenol content. This means they hydrate tissues without overstimulating the bladder, especially when eaten a few hours before bed. 1 cup of sliced strawberries contains 3 grams of fiber, 11% of the daily value, 220 milligrams of potassium, 5% of the daily value, and over 89 milligrams of vitamin C, nearly 99% of the daily value. These nutrients work together to soothe the bladder lining, reduce swelling in the urinary tract, and assist in filtering waste through the kidneys more efficiently, factors that can directly impact nighttime urine output. Strawberries are also low on the glycemic scale, with a glycemic index of just 41 and a glycemic load of around 4 per cup. This makes them very safe for diabetics, especially when paired with a little protein or healthy fat. Their natural sugars are counterbalanced by ellagic acid and anthocyanins, 2 powerful antioxidants that not only protect blood vessels around the bladder and kidneys, but also improve insulin sensitivity. In one study, regular strawberry intake was linked to lower post-meal blood glucose spikes and reduced urinary inflammation in adults with type 2 diabetes. For the best effect on nocturia, try eating 1/2 cup of fresh strawberries about 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. This gives the body enough time to process the gentle hydration and absorb the anti-inflammatory compounds without causing bladder overstimulation while you sleep. You can also blend them into a light smoothie with unsweetened almond milk and chia seeds to boost fiber and improve glucose regulation. Here is a myth. Because strawberries taste sweet, many diabetics assume they're off limits. But in reality, their natural sugar is balanced by fiber and antioxidants, making them one of the safest fruits for both blood sugar and bladder control. Strawberries offer a unique blend of gentle hydration, blood sugar balance, and urinary tract support, all wrapped in a flavor that feels indulgent but works like medicine. But now, let's bring everything together. Because fruit is just one part of the equation. Coming up are your bonus tips to stop nocturia naturally. Bonus helpful tips to stop nocturia. If you've made it this far, you already know how specific fruits can gently heal your bladder, calm nighttime urgency, and stabilize blood sugar. But let's take it a step further. Because while food is powerful, timing, mineral balance, hormones, and hydration rhythms also play critical roles in stopping nocturia, especially for diabetics, where the root cause often isn't just the bladder, it's how the whole system works together. First tip, start a hydration window and end it 2 hours before bed. Drinking fluids consistently during the day and tapering off after 7 p.m. gives your kidneys time to filter waste before sleep. But here's the twist. Instead of avoiding all water late at night, take one final sip of warm water with a pinch of Himalayan salt about 30 minutes before bed. This small dose of sodium helps your body retain just enough water to prevent nighttime dehydration-triggered urination without overwhelming your bladder. Second tip, balance your electrolytes, especially potassium and magnesium. These minerals are often depleted in diabetics due to frequent urination. Without them, your bladder becomes overactive and nerve signals get distorted. Use natural sources like half a banana early evening or a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds to restore balance. Research shows that increasing dietary potassium may reduce nighttime urination by up to 26%, especially in people with poor kidney filtering. Third tip, support your body's melatonin cycle naturally. Most people think melatonin is just about sleep, but it actually reduces urine production at night. If your melatonin levels are disrupted due to age or diabetes, you'll urinate more frequently, even if your bladder is only half full. Along with cherries, dimming lights after sunset and avoiding screens 1 hour before bed can help reactivate your pineal gland and restore this natural bladder calming rhythm. Fourth tip, add light movement after dinner. A gentle 10-minute walk helps stabilize post-meal glucose levels, which directly lowers the risk of nocturnal polyuria, where excess sugar spills into the urine at night. This is especially helpful for people with insulin resistance or high A1C. Fifth tip, check your blood sugar at bedtime. If it's too high, your body may push that excess glucose out through urine overnight, forcing you to wake up. Aim for a bedtime glucose between 100 to 140 milligrams per deciliter for the lowest risk of nighttime urination due to glycosuria. Here's something most people don't know. Nocturia isn't always about how much you drink. It's often a sign your kidneys, bladder, nerves, or hormones are out of sync. By combining blood sugar control with hydration timing, mineral-rich fruits, and a calming nighttime routine, you can restore balance from the inside out. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful, share it with someone who needs better sleep, and subscribe for more easy-to-understand science-backed diabetes content designed especially for you. Until next time, stay healthy, stay rested, and I'll see you in the next one.